We are on the 27th day of this phase of the hearings, and today we're going to be hearing from Sir David Veness, the former Assistant Commander of Special Operations at the Met from 94 till 2005. He signed off the 96-97 SDS annual report as outstanding and appeared to have a working knowledge of the SDS throughout his time in role. I'm joined by Donald O'Driscoll of the Undercover Research Group. What are we hoping from David Veness today?
I'm hoping more. What the hell happened under my watch? I saw nothing. Oh, I blame all the managers. This is outrageous. I apologize for everything. I apologize for existing. So David Veness, somebody you had an eye on for a long time because he's quite in the Met hierarchy. He's as close to the top, he's the head of all special operations. So that includes all these units: special branch, counterterrorism, all the other undercover units within the Metropolitan Police. And he was there a long time. He's something close to 10 years. And he's considered one of the significant people to have held that role.
His name has come up quite a few times as in terms of like the senior management. He's probably the most common of the senior managers we've heard referred to in documents and in evidence.
And we will again, because it's also in his watch. We think he's one of the main people who had the impetus for the MPYU. So he's not. The role of the Assistant Commissioner of Special Operations is also a national role on terrorism. They sit on all the big Aquatam boards, chair them. He's influential. He's right at the top of his particular pyramid. And what's curious about him is he's not special branch. He's done a bit of anti-terrorism branch, but he's not. So one of the main things I wanted to hear today is, what was his relationship with Special Branch? Did he like them? Did he trust them? Or was he a bit suspicious of them? Because he sets the tone. And we see under his watch, towards the end of his period, he's the one that called the SDS to HM123's wife a cowboy unit.
Yes.
So he's made that reference. So there's a suspicion that he, on the papers, went, oh, wonderful, wonderful jewel in the crown, followed the standard thing. But privately, they had a lot more questions about Special Branch. And so he brings in people like Janet Williams, John Butcher, who we'll hear from this week, who also have their own quite critical perspectives. However, it was also under his watch that Roger Pierce got appointed Director of Intelligence. Right. So how we unpick this particular network of political allegiances in the Metropolitan Police, quite interesting.
I mean, it's interesting because of his position, he is head of SO10, so he's familiar with like what gets referred to as proper undercover work. So he'd be very aware of the fact that the SDS were such a different sort of unit and should have been like with the ideal position to make recommendations, to demand changes, something which, from what we can tell, there's no sign of him ever doing.
Yeah, and this is one of the curious things now. People keep saying, "Oh, we classic manager style. We refer to our bosses, and we get up to peers. We never quite get beyond that, and it's really important. We understand how much stuff is being passed on Veness, because he's also the one talking to the Home Office. He's the one talking to the Commissioner. To get to that more rarefied levels, you have to go through Veness. So there's a lot of unknowns, and clearly, with the habit of all special branch managers, they like shunting it onto everybody else. It's either the undercovers to blame for everything, or the people at the top to blame for everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think unless he starts criticizing Condon, or he hasn't got many places to actually shift blame, really, is he? I mean, it's all going to be downwards. It'd be interesting to see how much he blames, the fact that his lack of knowledge, or the fact that he was being told lies. I mean, he's got two choices, really.
Yeah, and we've seen this a few times for them saying, "Oh, well, all our knowledge was, we were reliant on the well-established, and educated, and professional officers below us." Previously, with Commander Black, he pushed everything onto the superintendent, who, of course, we're not hearing from. So I expect there'll be a lot more of that. But this is the problem with any large organization. People at the top are dependent on the people underneath them telling stuff and pushing stuff up. So, and he's overseeing all of the specialist units. So how much time Special Branch or something, a 12-person unit like SDS is actually getting, we don't know, but he does know stuff. That's clear, because he clearly liked what the unit was doing enough to try and create a national one.
Yeah, absolutely. We can see that he's, he is supportive of the whole concept in the base level. Will he stand by that? What sort of man is going to turn up today? We'll find out very soon.
I think there are big questions he's not going to avoid. I think we're going to get paying 2.5 million to John Dines. If that didn't go to him, then what the hell's happening?
Right, absolutely. And I mean, it'll be interesting to see, will he claim some sort of amnesia about certain events? When we have the selective amnesia, I think it's a sign that you can't take the witness seriously, that the witness is evading, the witness is lying throughout. It'd be interesting to see. I mean, he's built his career on being a knowledgeable man who was very reliable. We've heard very good things said about him, from those above him, which suggests that he's got a reputation to uphold. Will he be willing to flush his reputation down the toilet in order to evade questions? So many of them have.
Well, for those who've been following his career, he's already had a major issue in his thing. Right. After the police, he was headhunted to set up the security office at the UN.
Right.
And I think it was Director General of Security or something quite high until the Libya affair happened. And he had to resign because several UN people were killed in Libya.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's a fairly big mark on his copybook, really. That.
So he has a little bit of experience with this. It's supposed to be why he didn't get a higher title than Sir.
Right. Yeah. Fair play. I mean, I hadn't looked him up enough to realize that. Okay. Interesting. Well, it is the last week this week. You might notice we're all a bit more perky today. It's the last week of hearings. Yeah. Only 4 more days. Vanessa today, Janet Williams tomorrow. I forget the other two for the rest.
John Butcher and Julian McKinney.
Right, yeah, which will be quite different.
Should be said that John Butcher is the current Chief Constable in Northern Ireland.
Oh, right. So he's going to turn up in uniform.
So he is actually, I think, one of the first actively serving police officers. Very interesting. One of the ones I'm really looking forward to this week.
Should be interesting. All right, thanks for joining us. The hearing starts at 10, which means the broadcast will start at 10:15. I thought it was going to be earlier, hence we're doing this preview so early. But yeah, so thanks for joining. If you're able to like and share, it makes a huge difference to how visible these videos are. As people have noticed that this phase of hearings, I've done a lot less in terms of coverage in the evenings and the weekends, which I used to do these podcast recordings. I haven't done that so much this time, just for my own personal mental health. But over the next, theoretically, I won't be so exhausted at the end of these, and I'm going to do some recaps and kind of pull things together and tease out some of the themes over the next few months ahead. So if you're interested in finding out more about that, just get in touch. You can support me on Ko-fi by checking my link in the bio. All right, thanks for joining us, and we'll do more videos throughout the day. Bye for now.